And we are live. Hey, I want to welcome everybody. I want to thank you for popping in. For anybody doing any replay viewers, thank you for anyone who shares this out. This is going to be a lot of fun. I have the amazing Jennifer Gluckow from she's well, I'll let her tell you where she's from. But she is in her studio where her and Mr. Jeffrey Gittimer do a lot of work in there for their podcast and a lot of other things. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Jen into the shot here. Jen, you're on.
What's up, Ken? How's it going?
Oh, man, I am so happy to have you on here. I see you already shared this out. That's awesome.
Of course I shared it out. Come on, you got to share it out.
You rock. So, Jen.
Yes.
You guys just got back from Paris?
Well, yes, we did. I love Paris. Paris is secretly my favorite city on the planet because New York City has to be my favorite, right? I'm Jen in a New York minute.
Right.
But secretly, I like Paris just a little bit more.
That's awesome. So, like, you know what's funny? I don't know if I told you this, but my 7-year-old daughter is obsessed with Paris. Obsessed.
Because of that movie, right?
No, she's never seen a movie with,
because there was that movie recently that has made every little kid on the planet obsessed with Paris.
Oh, I don't know if she's seen it. What is the movie?
It's like one of those I forget what it's called. It's where they're dancing at the Paris Opera.
Oh.
I actually cried during it. We won't tell that to anybody except our Facebook Live listeners, but.
Oh, that's awesome, though.
I'm forgetting the name. If you guys remember the name of that kids movie that I actually saw with Jeffrey without any kids, let us know.
Wow. So I've known you and Jeffrey now for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, I believe.
Isn't that crazy? It feels like we just met in Ohio recently.
I know. And it was
and so much has gone on in both our lives in the past 2 or 3 years. It's nuts.
Gosh, it's crazy. I know. And I gotta point out your beautiful fingernails.
Thank you.
I'm obsessed with how awesome your fingernails are.
I try to always have nice fingernails. Red Hot Rio is the color for sure.
Love it. So, hey, if anybody remembers the name of that movie she was just talking about.
Yeah, it's a kids movie. Oh man, hold on. Paris Opera Kids movie.
There you go. See, my wife speaks French, and she studied over there, and I don't.
Leap. It's called Leap.
Leap.
Yes, Leap.
She's not. I don't think she's seen it. Is it in the theater?
Well, it was. I'm sure you can Netflix it. You have to see it.
It's Leap. Leap.
That's right.
Leap.
Okay. And you might not cry, but I did.
I'm writing it down.
Yeah. So your wife speaks fluent French. That's pretty amazing.
She does. She's she studied over in Paris in college for a little bit, and she's just like her David Pereira is a friend of mine in the UK that I met when I was living in Vegas. We both worked for the same company at the time, and
oh wow!
David. Neither one of us do. But he just said, "Who's the chick?"
I'm Jen.
His name is David Pereira, but apparently in Europe they go by their middle name as their. I don't know. I'm like, dude, why is it say David Anthony? You're David Pereira.
Okay, let's. This is actually a serious thing I'm considering, so maybe you can help out with this.
Sure.
I'm writing this book, and I have to turn it in by June, so I have to make this decision pretty quickly. And it's a book about sales and selling, and I need my author name. And should my author name be my name, which is Jennifer Gluckow, but everyone messes up how to say it and how to spell it, or should it be Jennifer Blake because that's my middle name?
I think I'm personally, if I were in charge of your branding, I would say, Jen, everybody knows you by Jen Gluckow.
I know, but is it too late to switch? How do you know if it's too late to switch?
I mean, no, but just know that David just said, take my name.
That's funny, Dave. That's funny.
Oh, it's Jennifer Pereira.
Oh, I thought he wanted me to put his name as the author, like David Anthony.
No, I think he's asking for your hand in marriage.
I got it. I'm a bit taken. I apologize.
Yeah. And Richard Trevino, who is a best-selling author, says, no, use name associated with the brand and who everyone else knows.
All right. So Gluckow it is, huh? Gluckow it is. Thanks, Richard Trevino.
I think you should probably.
Oh, and Alex Vang says go with Jennifer Gluckow. Wow.
Yeah. I'm saying go with Gluckow as well. So, but hey,
that's like 4 for 4 right now.
Yeah. I think. Hey, Mike Scott, we got some really awesome people on here, by the way. Please share this out. We've got Jen is the technical term for it is Jen is a badass, and she, you're amazing. Like you and Jeffrey, I love both of you, but I'm telling you that I think you're unbelievable. So,
thank you.
I'm developing this program, and I kind of told you a little bit about it called, it's called Breakthrough Walls, and it ironically is a play on my last name, but it's helping people.
Brilliant. That's a great name for it.
That's my wife. She's like, it's crazy. But so, I think that what this is about is I want people to get to know, and I know that you know this on a sales level. It always comes down to, people like to buy from people that they like. No,
really
trust. Right?
No.
I mean, you kind of wrote a book on it, Jen.
That's true.
I
did.
There it is. Everybody go out and get her book right now. Sales in a New York Minute. Jen's Top 10 for Sales Zen. It's an awesome book. It's personally signed. I have the signed copy. Jen,
I'll sign it if you order it on my website. I'll sign your copy too, guys.
How do they do that? What is?
Oh, just salesinanewyorkminute.com, and there's a section with products, and you can order the book right there.
There you go. Go get it. Sales in a New
easy.
York Minute. Sales in a New York Minute. Is that just? I have it over here. Sales in any minute, but it's a New York. So no
matter how you spell New York, it'll get there. Don't worry.
Oh, does it? Even if you spell it out?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So let's start with, I want to ask you some questions. This is like a put Jen on the hot seat interview kind of thing.
I love
it. So it's not really hot, but so why don't we start with, I don't want to assume anything. So where were you born and raised?
I was born in Englewood, New Jersey, which is northern New Jersey, right outside of Manhattan, and raised in New Jersey and New York City.
In New York City? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
In not Manhattan.
Well, yeah, that is Manhattan.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know well enough. I've only been there once, so.
Oh man! And didn't you tell me you were driving when you were there?
Yes.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah. It was interesting. It was interesting.
I actually had a house in the suburbs, right? I grew up in New Jersey, but I went to school in New York, so all my friends had apartments in the city, and I tried not to go home after school. I would try to find a reason every single day after school for why I needed to study in New York, because if I explained to my mother that I needed to study with someone and that person lived in New York, she would come get me after work. Wow. So it was perfect.
I'll tell you, the energy, I came back from New York and I told my wife that I said, we need to make $100 million.
Oh, that's it?
So we can buy an apartment in Manhattan. I want one of the, multi-mega $1 million apartments And because like I've never seen anything like it. The energy.
It's pretty amazing. I lived there for 10 years after college. And so for the past decade, I was a New Yorker, so to speak. And it's incredible. It really is. There's nothing like it.
Nothing. And I had these preconceived ideas that, New Yorkers were all rude and mean and nasty, and I was going to get mugged walking down the street. Right. So here I am on Madison Avenue looking at everybody holding on to my wallet.
Well, Madison Avenue isn't really the place for most muggings. That's like the high fashion shopping district, but
Yeah. I mean, it's so like, but the energy is incredible. It's incredible there. And I was like, I can't believe how nice everybody is. Like everybody was so nice.
New Yorkers aren't rude. They're just busy.
Right.
And they think that they're busier than everyone else in the world. So and they think that only their city has traffic more than all the other cities in the world. And so they're always rushing. They're always busy. It's not that they're rude. They just don't have time to stop and chat with you.
Right. Right. But they're helpful. Like you can ask like, hey, and they'll like walk you to it. Like,
yeah. I loved when people asked me for directions, especially if they were foreigners, because it was so fun to say, go that way and you'll pass this and, share my excitement for the city.
That's it. It's amazing. It's amazing. So let me ask you, now this is a little more personal, but what is your, so you grew up in the hustle and bustle of one of the largest cities on the planet. What is one of your favorite childhood memories?
Well, that's a little personal, Ken. No, just kidding.
What's your net worth? That's personal.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty personal. No, I'm just kidding. That's a cool question. So what's one of my favorite childhood memories? Yeah. Wow, I have a lot of favorite memories, and I haven't been asked this question in a long time, so I'm thinking about it. This may sound corny, but there were 2 days a week after school that I would go to my grandparents' house and spend time with my grandma. Yeah. And so Tuesdays and Fridays were grandma days, and I would look forward to them all week. And then on Saturdays, we'd go on adventures every Saturday. We'd then, drive around, go to the diner for breakfast, and just that was like my routine growing up, and I loved it.
Wow.
My other grandma took me on some Sundays to stand outside of her supermarket because it was a really well-trafficked shopping center. Yeah. And I would create these beaded bracelets and I would sell them. I was like 6 years old. And I realized, I would sell them. I think people just felt bad for me. Like, there's this kid who's being creative and we better like talk to her. And so people would buy these bracelets. And the cool thing about that was, what I realized was people didn't want the bracelets that I thought were cool. They wanted them customized. They wanted their bracelets. And so what I would do is I would say, okay, meet me here next week. I'll be here between 12 and 2. And here's the bracelet or what I'm going to make for you. It'll have your name on it, blah, blah, blah. And they'd come back and pick it up.
Are you kidding?
And by the way, prepayment. Grandma told me about prepayment at 6 years old, okay? You collect the money up front to make sure they're going to come back.
Oh, my God. That is awesome.
Yeah,
6
so it was
years old.
Cool. Yeah.
Wow. And that was your idea?
Yeah, because I loved making them, and I thought, well, it would be cool to make money like my parents make money. So why can't I do something to make money?
Awesome. Wow. It started young.
Sales started real young. It did.
You know what? That is the most unbelievable segue for my next question.
Oh, wow. And this was not even planned.
It was
legit,
not
planned.
No
I did not get questions in advance.
I have 6 questions written down. You have no idea.
I know. You could ask me anything. I love this.
The next question is,
many people saying, hey. Oh, Anthony's here. Hey, Anthony.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Robert
people.
Stern, Manhattan equals New York City. What's up, guys?
Yeah, and we have David asks if I don't know if he's asking you if you've ever been to England or me. I've never been out of the continental United States. So I have been to. You've been to England, right?
Yes, I have. I've done the wheel thing.
Yeah.
And I've seen the Big Ben, and I've done a bunch of tours of famous stuff. I've been to the Wax Museum, the bridge, the clock, Harrods for tea. Oh, I love those cucumber sandwiches. They're like really overpriced. And you get cucumbers on a piece of bread with tea.
David and his wife, they're amazing, and they're good friends of ours. And when they brought us some English, or sent us some English tea biscuits.
Ooh, yum.
Those are cookies.
Yeah.
He said, "Can we ask questions?" So sure, but let me get through mine. So the next question is, what got you into sales? And I realize at 6 years old you were doing that. But what was after that? What was next? What was your first, what you would call real or professional sales job? Although at 6 years old, selling bracelets on the street is pretty amazing.
So I watched my parents build a successful business. Their business took off when I was 10. They printed and manufactured books. And of course I wanted to be just like them, except I never wanted to print or manufacture books. Okay. And so to me, the key to that and to the similarity there was they were both in sales, and they had these customers who loved them, and they had these customers who trusted them, and they would talk about it at the dinner table every single night. And I wanted to build that too. And so when I was in high school, I decided to go out and sell Cutco knives. And I went to the Cutco office in New York City, and they said, well, we'd love to hire you, but you're too young. So I said, well, what? Like, kids sell Cutco knives. What are you talking about? And they said,
how old were you?
I want to say 15 or 16.
Wow.
And they, for some reason, I guess it was, I don't know if they were just saying I was too young, or they actually, that was their rule, whatever. And I went home that night to talk to my parents about it. I said, well, I'm going to sell Cutco knives. And they said, oh, wait, I can hear Doug.
Yeah, I can too.
Hey, Doug, we can hear you. We can hear you. Yeah, I think he has to turn off his mic. Okay, cool. So I went home and said, I'm going to sell Cutco knives. And my parents were like, well, they said you can't sell them. You're too young. I said, right. I can't work for them. But here are 3 other offices I have found, and I'm going to go call them and make appointments with them for this week. And one office in New Jersey hired me. I guess I wasn't too young for them. And that was my first big sale. It was selling myself, right?
Wow.
And so that's where I really got my start, and amazing training. And that was part of the key to my success, was that job came with training.
Yeah. That's huge. That is huge. By the way, Jen, you'll be happy to know that's a cut.
Oh, cool!
And I bought the kitchen butcher block set for my wife.
The AP set.
I bought another one for her mother. So yeah,
they're the best.
Oh my gosh, they're incredible.
They really are the best.
Made in New York, and what's the city?
Oh, somewhere upstate, I think.
Yeah.
I forget. By the way, Alex Veng is here now. Hey, Alex.
Hey, Alex. So with the wow. So did you start going door to door selling Cutco?
Oh yeah. Well, first what I did, and this is applicable to any sales job, not just like a 16-year-old kid selling knives. Yeah. I made a list of everyone I knew who could buy it. Okay, everyone I knew who had any sort of desire or love to cook. Because if you're in the kitchen, you need utensils.
Yeah.
And I started calling them, and I said, hey, I have this new job, and I know you already have your set of utensils, but I was wondering if I could come over and show you what I've got, and we could talk about it.
Wow.
And they were, family friends, so for the most part, everyone said yes. And I don't do referrals this way so much anymore, but back in that day, I was trained to then ask for the referral.
Right.
So, and because they were good friends, it was easy to ask them. Ooh, there's an echo. Huh.
I don't hear it.
Because they were good friends, it was easy to ask them who they knew that may be able to use knives, and I may be able to give a presentation to. And everyone would give me 3 or 4 names. It was crazy. Like, it was like that 3 or 4 names was gold. It was worth more to me than selling the actual 8-piece set.
Wow. I put you in the whole shot. Robert Stern says, Jen, why did you pick Cutco back then? What was the main reason for picking Cutco?
I wanted sales training, and they offered sales training, and I wanted the ability to make money, and they offered both. And it seemed fun. They always had pictures of kids, like, being successful, and so I related to that.
I have a really good friend. They call him Todd the Knife. He was one of the top Cutco salespeople in the nation. Like he sold millions of dollars. That stuff it's amazing. It's an amazing. You have them, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, they're amazing. They're pretty amazing. So, let me ask you the next thing I wanted to ask is, and this is a little tougher, but. And it may make you really think. What's your biggest regret thus far in life?
I actually don't have to think about it.
Oh.
It's not quitting the company I was working for as a full-time job, not quitting sooner, and not having the confidence in myself right away to say, I'm going to go out and start a business, wanting the security of a job. And the benefits that come with that.
Yeah.
And when you're in New York, that's really tough, right? Like, you need to make money to live and survive. I mean, obviously anywhere, but even more so where eggs are $12 a dozen.
Yeah.
And so, I quit my job, and instead of starting the company I now own, Sales in a New York Minute, I became COO of a test prep and admissions counseling company. Well, 3 months in, I realized when I quit, I should have started my business then. What was holding me back? And I think it was the fear and the instability of not having a paycheck every week.
Yeah. I'm very familiar with that fear. Very familiar with it.
Yeah.
Wow, you didn't have to think about that at all.
Yeah, that was an easy one, Ken. Try harder this time. Let's go.
Yeah.
I like this. This is fun.
Okay. What's your second biggest regret? No, I'm kidding. I mean that, and I think that most people who are in commission only sales or even scarier in a owning a business, they've started a company or own a company. Everybody can relate to that. Like that's huge. And I've been there myself. It's like. I remember I got fired from I was the top sales guy in this company too, and I got fired because I called the manager out on smoking weed in the company vehicle, and I ended up getting fired because he hated me. I was like,
oh my God.
Dude, stop smoking weed in the company vehicle. What are you doing, you weirdo? And I got fired. But hey, you know what? Literally within I don't know, a few days, maybe a couple months. I don't remember what it was, but that's when I started my business. So,
it's really hard to see in the moment. So in the moment, you've just been fired and you're pissed off, you're angry, you're scared. There's all this influx of emotion, right?
Yep.
And then I'm sure maybe 6 months down the road or maybe a year down the road, you realize, wow, that was a blessing in disguise. Like, thank goodness they fired me. I'm going to call them and thank them for firing me.
What was really funny is because karma has teeth, right? And it can go good, it can go bad, but years later, a friend of mine gives me a call, and he owns a humongous company, and he says, "Hey, do you know who blah 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 is?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, how do you know him?" I go, he fired me. He was my manager. Why are you asking about that jerk? he goes, well, he sent me his resume. Apparently he's looking for a job. Should I hire him? What do you think my answer was? Karma,
Exactly.
Okay, so here's a fun question. I know you get to hang out with a lot of really famous people, and you're famous yourself. Who is the most famous person that you've ever met and got to hang out with? Like, If you were to say this is the, like, on the celebrity list, like this is the one.
So I'm a huge Yankees fan. Huge. And I don't know if you're only talking about in the sales industry or just like in life in general.
In the famous people world.
Cool. So I've met a couple of the baseball players, like A-Rod and Tino Martinez, and just like they went to the same gym as my parents, and I would hang out at the gym, and they'd walk by, not realizing I have Yankee stuff in the locker, like, here you go, please sign it. But they wouldn't remember me for sure. Other famous people, and this is a really cool one. So I mentioned my parents printed and manufactured books.
Yeah.
And they printed a book for Giuliani. He decided to give a book to every New York City kid that he wrote about you can be anything when you grow up, essentially.
Wow.
You could be a firefighter, you could be a policeman, you could be a teacher, you could be a business owner. And every page was a different thing about what you could be. And my parents did the printing for them. And so I got to meet a lot of people from his office, including his chief of staff, who I then worked for one summer, and at the Office of Management and Budget. And I got to meet him, which was really cool.
That is awesome. I love him. He's amazing. Peter Getchel's on here, our good buddy Peter Getchel. He said,
"What up, Peter? We're not going to talk about the Red Sox because I'm a big Yankee fan. Let me just say that again. Yankees."
I know. He's always cracking jokes. He's funny.
Oh, yeah.
He's funny. So, Robert Stern says, and this is very, so I'm going to make his question a two-part question because it's my next question.
Wait, hold on. Robert Stern's from Livingston. Do you know Michael Silverman? He's like the mayor. He's our buddy.
Oh, really? From Livingston, New Jersey?
I don't know. I clicked on him because I know Robert Stern, but you're a different Robert Stern.
Yeah. So Robert knows a lot of people. He's a good dude. So
yeah, I hope you know Michael. Anyway.
Michael who?
Michael Silverman. Mayor.
Of Livingston?
I'm pretty sure he's the mayor of Livingston.
Is that New Jersey?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. He said, yes, I do know Michael.
Michael is the man. We love him. He's been on Sell or Die.
Has he been on your podcast?
Yeah. Yeah, and he's a third generation insurance guy, and family owned insurance, and he does our insurance. He's phenomenal.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So
small world.
Very small world. It is. So, I was literally.
So Robert Stern has a question. Yeah. I think that's where you're going before I so rudely interrupted you.
It's okay. From a salesperson's perspective, what do you see as the biggest mistake salespeople make? Ooh, that's actually a really good question.
It actually, in my opinion, depends on where they are in their sales career and how long they've been doing this. But what I'm seeing happen a lot now is people aren't building strong enough relationships. They think they have a surface level relationship because they email or whatever. Yeah. And that's not a relationship. Okay. Do you have your customer cell phone number, and do they have your cell phone number? Can they call you anytime? You know, that begins to build the actual relationship. Do you actually pick up the phone or you just email them? I mean, I see the relationship, which is so foundational to the core of your success, as being one of the biggest mistakes that salespeople are making right now.
Yeah. I agree with you 1,000%. There's Chuck Studebaker. Chuck.
Oh, hey, Chuck. What up?
You know who Chuck is, right?
Tagged
every day on Twitter.
Chuck has a daily tweet. I love it.
He's incredible. He's running for an office for I think school board or something down in Georgia. So
I'm going to add to salespeople's mistakes, if I may. There's one other thing. A lot of people give up too soon. You know, they follow up once, they follow up twice, and they're following up, which means they really have no value to add. They're just saying, hey, I'm calling to check in. Well, that's annoying. Not just for not just for the prospect, but also for the salesperson. It's uncomfortable. You don't want to keep calling to check in. And so the key is they need to follow through and offer value.
Right.
And once you're offering value, like, hey, Jen, I saw this LinkedIn post, or I wrote this LinkedIn post that I think could actually help your business, and how you told me how you want to grow your talks this year. This might be something that could help you get more talks. All of a sudden I'm like, wow, they're listening. They want to help me. Okay, let me pay attention.
Right.
So I just see too many salespeople following up instead of following through, and then not doing enough follow through.
Right.
Like sometimes it takes 7 or 8 outreaches to get to someone.
Right.
And you don't have to be annoying in your outreach as long as you're providing value. But people give up way too soon.
I have this little service. I'm revamping my website, and I signed up for this chat service to put on there so people can chat with me online that visit my website. So this chick keeps following up with me, and she says in her last email, "Should I just quit?" with a question mark.
Oh my God.
I know, and I was like, okay, now you just pissed me off. And there's no phone number in her email signature. There's nothing.
So you can't even get in touch with her if you want to.
No, and so I just hit reply, and I said, "What's your phone number?" And she replied back with just her phone number, and that was it.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. So I went in and I called her.
Yeah.
First off, I'm going to develop a sales training course, and you have to take it.
Should I just quit? That is horrendous. I get these emails now where like someone's peering there's like a big rock, and you could see the person peeking out under it, and they're like, "Jen, I've been hiding under this rock and I'm so nervous. Is everything okay?" Or there'll be like a big animal and a squirrel, and they're telling me how they don't want it to die, but they haven't heard from me in forever. It's like, this is so corny. I just file you away. Why? Like, you just sent that out to 500 people, not just me, obviously.
I know. People have, and that's what I love about sales trainers and professionals like you and Jeffrey Gitomer and other people. But I think that there is such salespeople think, they go out and they make a sale, or they make 2 sales, they make a couple $100,000 a year or whatever, and they feel like I've arrived, I'm super successful. Like, dude, when you're making $30 million a year, maybe you can pat yourself. and until then, you've got something to learn.
Well, there's this other trend I'm seeing now where unsuccessful salespeople think that they can teach other people how to be successful at sales.
Oh, I know it.
And it's like, go be successful first and then try to teach someone how to be successful.
That's it. I agree.
It's crazy town.
Makes me
crazy.
Nuts. I was talking to somebody about this last night, all the coaches popping up all over the world. And I do some coaching myself, but I'll be 50 years old. I got a little bit of experience.
No.
I'm a best-selling author.
You don't look 50, Ken.
I'm going to be 50 in July.
Wow, way to go.
Crazy, I know. It must be the green smoothie that my wife makes me every
morning. Way to go. See, mine comes out like purple every day, and I try to get it to look pink so that maybe Jeffrey would drink one too, but it just comes out this like dark brownish purple. It doesn't look very appetizing.
Don't put beets in it. Ugh.
Oh, I don't. I just put like blueberries in it.
Oh, that sounds good.
It's really good.
She's got a really good recipe. I had a doctor friend of mine give us this recipe. It's amazing. It's a great recipe. Huh. But anyway, so
a smoothie a day.
My question that ties into all of this is, what's the number one piece of advice that you would give to a salesperson, whether they're new, old, experienced, inexperienced? What would be like the number one piece of advice if you had 20 seconds with somebody that was in the elevator and they said, "Hey, you're awesome. What advice would you give me to excel my career in sales?"
So I'm going to give this one to you because it's one I'm working on. Okay?
Yeah.
And it's talk to everybody. You never know when you're going to A, make a friend, B, make someone who wants to invest in something you're doing, a business partner, a customer, or a referral. Talk to every single person you can that you come in contact with.
Yeah.
Like literally this morning I was standing in a shop and a girl behind me starts talking to me and I'm like, oh, I should have started talking to her first, you know? And we find out that we both ride Peloton, which is like a huge cult thing when you're, you know, and went into a certain exercise.
Yeah.
And her kids go to the same school as Jeffrey's kid. And like we had all these similarities. She lived in New York. I lived in New York. We could be friends.
Yeah.
Now, could she potentially refer business to me? Of course. You know, could she potentially be a customer? Of course.
Yeah.
But that's going to take the next step, which is sitting down for coffee and getting to know each other. But definitely talk to every single person, even if you're in New York City and in the elevator where it's awkward to talk to someone. Do it.
I agree with that. That's probably the best piece of advice anybody could ever receive from a sales standpoint. And Anthony Santangelo, do you know Anthony?
I do. He sent us his book, actually.
He's awesome. So he says build that.
And he's from Philly.
What's that?
He's from Philly.
Yeah. And
build that pipeline. You can't build that pipeline if you don't talk to every single person out there. So they're all correlated.
Yeah. So hey, Sergio Prado, is that? I think I'm saying that.
Hi, Sergio.
What is your opinion about network marketing, and residual income?
How do you make that thing pop up on the screen, Ken? That's really cool.
I'm a magician. No, it's just the software I use.
Cool.
It's the software. It's pretty cool.
We should do that on our Facebook Lives. Yeah. I like it. Do you like it, Doug? Yeah, Doug likes it. Our producer likes it.
Yeah,
that's the man, by the way.
Tell Doug to reach out to me. I'll tell him about this. It's pretty cool.
All right, cool.
So
he's on this, so he will.
Yeah.
So what is the piece of advice I would give to network marketing? Was that the question?
Yeah, network marketing. What is your opinion on network marketing and residual income?
You have to be the biggest believer on the planet in the products. If you don't believe in the products, don't try to sell it. If you're like, well, I'm into fitness, so I could sell this vitamin that's going to help you, whatever, but you're not taking it yourself, you're not a product of the product, no, it's not going to work. You have to be the biggest believer and a product of the product in order to transfer that message with sincerity and just pure genuineness.
Yeah.
If that's a word. That's number one. Number two is, and this is something that, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but this is something that pisses me off about this whole idea of passive income, or some people call it residual income or whatever, is people think you're literally making money in your sleep. Like, oh, I'm in this network marketing thing now. I'm going to become so rich. Yeah. First of all, 99% of the time, okay, they end up charging you monthly and they're the ones becoming rich, not you. Okay. Yep. Now, are there successful people in network marketing? Hell yeah. And you know why? They worked their asses off.
Yep.
Okay. My cousin is one of the top salespeople. I wonder if she's watching right now. But anyway, my cousin is one of the top salespeople for a product called, a company called Secret. It's like, a beauty stuff from the Dead Sea. And she is on Facebook Live multiple times a day, showing you the new hair thing, showing you the new shampoo. Literally, she goes in showers on Facebook Live. She's wearing a bathing suit, okay? So like, she literally shows you how she lathers her hair, okay? That's not making money while you sleep. That's working your ass off, that's why she's so super successful.
Yep.
Okay? And so, if you're going to do it, do it. Go full in, give it all of your energy, give it all of your effort, and go for it. But if you think you're going to make money just because you signed up and you're paying them a monthly fee and you like the product, you're not. You really have to work at it.
You do. I so agree with that. That's one of the things that, like, if you what's the say?
Alex says he'll start showering live on Facebook.
Who said that?
Mr. Bang. That's funny.
Tell him I'm gonna unfriend him and block him then. I don't need to see that. But you know, funny. that is true though. Like going, like you've got to commit. You got to get super, super committed, no matter what it is. Whether it's a product like that in network marketing or selling for your podcast or whatever.
I agree, but for some reason, people think okay, so if you go get a sales job somewhere, you know you have to be committed, right? Like that's like a part of the job. But for some reason, people who sell network marketing products have this new idea that like all of a sudden they're just going to sell themselves. Yep. Well, no one's lining up to buy your product because you're now representing some other person's brand.
That's right.
That's not how it works.
No, it's not. I agree with you. I agree. I love that. So listen, I only had 6 questions. And I think that we just answered all of them. I want to do a couple of things. Number one, I want to shout out the podcast that you and Jeffrey Gittimer have.
Yeah, you can't. I don't know how to turn so you can like see.
Here. I'll make it full screen so it's just you now, so everybody can see. If and you. The camera's not on me. I don't have a Doug.
There you go. There's Jeffrey.
Yeah, there you go. So, I don't have a Doug Branson here helping. So, but hey, I have to plug the Seller Diet podcast.
Well, thank you.
I listen to it all the time. In fact, I didn't even really start listening to podcasts until the Seller Diet podcast. Like, for years, I've had an iPhone. I've never listened to podcasts ever.
Yeah, and we have a lot of fun with it. We do.
I know, but I'm gonna put the screen back on me because I want to plug your book, right?
Oh, cool. Well, thank you.
If everybody doesn't know the Little Red Book of Selling, I mean, it's only the #1 best-selling sales book ever on planet.
And people might be wondering like why you're mentioning Jeffrey so much. Jeffrey is my partner, like in life and business, and so. I'm cool to promote him all day long too. I mean, his stuff is great.
Yeah, but you know, this is. I wanted to because I'm interviewing Jeffrey, just so everybody knows. He'll be on the show Thursday. But like, you know, I wanted to make this about you and because I think you're incredible. Obviously,
well, thank you,
Jeffrey
Ken.
thinks you're incredible. Everybody needs to go out and get a copy of your book.
Yep. And I have a new book coming out. It'll be out in every bookstore and airports and all that early next year, which I will come back and tell all your people about. How about that?
We got to go live. We got to promote that as soon on your book launch day. That'd be awesome if we could do that. So so let's talk about how people can get in touch with you, follow you. And all of that. Okay,
so we just made this really cool link where you can find me everywhere. It's hold on, I'll tell you the link.
What is it?
It's links.salesinanyminute.com/social. Can I just pop it in there?
Links.
Here.
Oh, there it is. Alex.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, Alex did it. Okay,
Sales.
Cool. And so if you go there, you can find me everywhere.
Minute. I'm gonna put it up on the screen here in a second.
And it looks better on mobile because, you know, most people go to stuff on their phones now. But that's okay. You can tell it works on any device.
Okay, so
Zhang is efficient. I agree. He is very efficient here.
I'm going to pull it up here on my screen and show everybody. There it is.
It's just a link to all my links.
That's awesome.
But I'm literally Jen in Any Minute everywhere you go. So just search Jen in Any Minute or Jennifer Gluckow and you will find me on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Search podcasts for Sell or Die or anywhere you get your podcast.
And
that's how you can find me.
What's the preferred podcast network?
Well, we love Overcast because we're generally the #1 or 2 rated business show. We beat NPR a bunch of times, a bunch of weeks. It's just crazy and amazing. So we love Overcast. If you download that app, you have to have an iPhone, and then you can download Sell or Die and you know give us a star or whatnot. But you can find us on any place you get your podcast. Just search Sell or Die. And go to my website, salesinanewyorkminute.com. I have lots of free stuff on it.
So, Jen, you know that I live my life to help other people. So how can I help you? The most awkward question of the day.
I don't know.
Is there anything
I appreciate that. I would love to come back when my new book is coming out so I can tell everyone some sneak previews from the book. It's going to be called Sales in a New York Minute, and it's 212 real world tips that you could use to increase your sales right now.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah. I feel another podcast coming on. So,
I don't know. We're on podcast overload right now.
I know you are. I know. And I know you're busy. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you. This has been awesome. Yeah. And to Ken's listeners, thank you guys. Yeah. Get in touch with me and connect.
Everybody make sure you go follow Jen. And she's amazing. So
and take a picture for my story on Instagram. This is the new thing now, you know.
I got to get better at that.
I'm not really good at it, but I'm trying. Vang tells me I need to get better at it. All right, smile. There you go. All right, cool. Oh, it was blurry. Oh no.
Okay.
All right. You were looking down. There we go. Sort of.
Oh, hold it. What am I doing? See, I can't even take a dang picture.
I got it. I got the picture. I got the shot.
Awesome. Perfect. So, Jen, thank you so much. Really appreciate you. And again, if there's anything that I can ever do to help you or Jeffrey or anybody there, just
back at you.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, thank you. Have a great day. And Jen, just hang on. I'm going to finish the broadcast. Hang on. Don't hang up yet.
All right. So, I'm here. I'm staying tuned.
Thank you to everybody who shared this out. Thank you to everyone for coming on and watching Jen and I. She's amazing. Make sure you go follow her. Go to Sales in Any Minute and follow her on all of her social media. So I will see you guys soon. Thank you.